Hey, happy Halloween. It is October 31st, although you're probably not going to see this on the 31st. Um, but I wanted to explain a little bit about um, some people's expectation about getting a refund from the Social Security Administration when they don't use the benefits that their taxes went for. Um, Incidentally, this is a thrift store find. My family thinks it's hideous. I think it's kind of cool. And I think it's reversible. I don't know. So anyway, thought it'd be fun. Since I have nothing orange, I don't think. Okay. So there is no refund of your Social Security contributions, right? Not if you paid them according to what your work earnings would dictate. Yeah, it's compulsory, obviously, for most of us. And I guess by some standards, it is a social type of program. Um, it's not welfare, though, but it is arguably a social program, particularly the fact that it's compulsory. And I might not normally be a fan of that, generally speaking, but I happen to just love it because I see so many people it saves. But so here's the dealio and why it is not refundable. Think of it as the insurance that it is, even though it's compulsory insurance, and there are other compulsory insurances all throughout the United States. A lot of states have mandatory, if not all, automobile liability insurance. And if you're going to drive a car on the roadways, any public roadway, I believe, you have to have the liability insurance. So that's just one example. I know for certain professions, it might be required. I know on a commercial basis, I should say in some states, lawyers are required to have liability insurance. It would be called legal malpractice insurance. But on the commercial side, some entities won't deal with a person who does not have, even if it's not legally required under the law, otherwise, like by their state, if they don't have a particular kind of liability insurance. It could be if you're a contractor, you have to have, liability insurance, even if your state didn't require it. Some customers might require it, right? So it can be varying levels. But anyway, it is insurance, Social Security. So what does that mean? That means when you buy automobile insurance and you don't have an accident the month that you bought it, you're not going to get your premium back. Does that simplify it a little bit? I mean, what you're buying is a coverage of protection in a certain amount for a period of time to cover you in the event you have the particular event occur. For Social Security disability, it is in the event the disabling condition occurs and becomes disabling during that window that you bought it for. So when you don't have a car accident during the term that you bought the car insurance for, no, they're not going to give you your money back. They did their job of covering you in case you did. You happen to win on the statistics and didn't get an accident, which is good. But you can't have your money back because that money is part of that big pool, as insurance generally runs, so that when the other person that also did the same as you became the unlucky one and became disabled, he got covered. It's that pooling of funds that enables people to pay only a few bucks a paycheck, but be covered for the rest of their life if they become disabled, to the tune of far, far more. So, you have to get a grip on the fact that it's insurance. It's not some physical thing that you are buying at the moment. It is a service, and that's probably not even the right word, service. It's a coverage. So no, there is no refund. Unless, of course, you mispaid the wrong amounts into it. And keep in mind also, whatever you're paying in now will cover you not only for a disabling condition that keeps you out of work and as defined by the SSA, but will also be retirement benefit. So if you never become disabled, it's not like you lose. You just have to wait till you're old enough to be retired to collect it. Because remember, the amount we pay in is like actuarially, determined based on life expectancy, so that the people in the pool altogether who will be claiming, it will be able to cover them until they all pass away. So some might pass at 100, some might pass at 65, some never make it. But again, it's insurance, so that if you do trigger it, such as hitting retirement age, you can collect it, right? You can't take it back, or else now there's no money in the pool to cover you, or anybody else that participated in the insurance pool to pay those benefits later. It's how all insurance really works. I mean, I'm sure there's variances, and the fact that this is handled by the government, ergo the social nature of it, there might be some nuances. It probably has a little more protections than a private company who could go under. From that, I know there's always big worry. When is it going to fail? When is it going to fail? I don't know the answer to that. In fact, I was just reviewing what I've been reviewing over the last, I don't know, decade or so, where the fund is year over year. And it's amazing how it changes based on the policies of our federal government. It's interesting. Remember, what year was that? 2020 or so. And that would be the report that came out in 2020 from Social Security. I think our Social Security fund, it might have been the disability fund, was out to like 2065. It had just gone boom, 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 with the great economy. And that's what happens, I guess, when you have a great economy. People are working and people are buying and spending money, and that helps other people work, and everybody can support themselves, or be supported if they have Social Security disability, if they can't otherwise support themselves. So it is a super, super, to me, important program. I don't really support this side. And I know there's some validity to it. There's always some validity and arguments to be made about it. But I think given the potentially dumbed down nature of our society these days anyway, it's really not a good idea, I don't think, to get rid of it. Or we're going to have probably the majority of people living on the streets because they won't have something to fall back on they didn't otherwise prepare. And I say this given the fact that I am not the most prepared person either. So I am really happy that there will be Social Security retirement at the very least, if I get to that point, and I plan to, but you never know. So I do think, unless and until we get back to some basics of, better education about life and accountability and responsibility and planning, things that I think started to slip probably back when I was younger. And I'm not going to tell you how long ago that was, but it's a really long time ago. But in hindsight, I think I could see now, and I can read some of the history and see that that's when it was starting, and I didn't know it at the time. But there we are. So I think for now we need this safety net. And I think for disability, we always will need it, because people will get disabled and not have the opportunity to work enough, to save enough to prepare for retirement. And I would say the same is true about Medicare, for our seniors and our disabled. So at the very least, the disability. But okay, so it's not refundable, people. It's insurance. Just like you can't get a refund on your automobile insurance after the term has passed and you've been protected, or your health insurance, or your homeowner's insurance. Oh, my house never burned down in these 20 years I've been paying. Can I have my money back? Are you kidding? Doesn't make sense. All right, that's it about the refunds. I'm going to share it to whatever viewer it was that I was asking about it. Actually, I don't think he was asking about it. I think he was commenting about how when he was young, he was annoyed that he couldn't get a refund. Anyway, which I totally get. I probably felt the same way. All right, bye, guys.